communism or social ownership.
Happy New Year and welcome to the Adam and Sheridan Show video podcast here on YouTube, episode number 24. I'm Adam Fortright.
I'm Sheridan. Happy New Year. This is okay. So someone told me earlier that this is the year veganism becomes mainstream. That, of course, makes me super happy because I eat like rabbits.
And what's really interesting about that is I just ate 2 hamburgers and 2 hot dogs from AJ's.
I will punch him in the crotch later. But that kind
of... Not the crotch, the colon. So that goes...
That made me think though, like, because I'm just fringe. I really am.
Actually, veganism is, as you say, going more mainstream. I know
veganism is going more
mainstream. Signing up to that bandwagon.
I hate you. But also, we have our first elected socialist in forever. Decades.
I think a century.
A century?
I believe.
Eugene Debs failed in 1912.
Yeah.
I was going to say 2012. Eugene Debs ran while in prison and as a ghost.
Look him up if you don't know who he is. Has a socialist ever won in the United States?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, local elections.
Okay.
I don't. Of course, I'm not prepared. Whatever.
So what's the name of this woman? I don't want to mispronounce her name.
Kshama Sawant in Seattle, right near SeaTac, where they just voted on $15 an hour minimum wage. But let's see if it passes.
That's what she ran on.
Light. I'm so unprofessional.
Sorry. Hello.
So
light.
unprofessional. But so is this going to be the year?
Half of my face is dark. What's going on with that?
It's intense. I don't know.
Actually, I kind of like it.
We could, yeah.
I like
it too, but if you want, we can move it.
No, keep it. I want people to tell me if I should get a tan or not. Now you know. Is it A or B?
So is this going to be the year that socialism becomes mainstream too? And is this change socialist activism? Because it's a big thing. Now that we have people who are elected, do we just do electoral politics? Do we just fight for $15 an hour minimum wage across the country? Do we just fight for more cooperatives? Do we do a mainstream route, or do we still continue to fight to get people for revolution? Of course, we're on the revolution side in different ways. Mm-hmm. But,
Well, one point I would make is...
Just change it.
Is Sawant, is that her name?
Kshama Sawant, yeah.
She did run she is a socialist, but she ran on
alternative.
Yeah, socialist alternative, but she did run on a program that was kind of reformist. It was, like Sheridan said, $15 an hour minimum wage. And a lot of people got behind that.
Those were specific demands that she was making, but in her speeches, she was still talking about
absolutely.
Capitalism.
Oh, absolutely. But do you think that people voted for her because she was a socialist, or because they wanted an increase in the minimum wage?
I honestly think, and this sounds pessimistic, but I think it's optimistic. They voted for her in spite of the fact that she was socialist, because that sounds like a dirty word. I was at a coffee house talking to a friend of the show, Kenny Fabridius, who made these wonderful graphics that I'm not going to show right now because there's nothing to show.
We already
at
showed
WRFA. Yeah. Yep. Opening, closing.
You're talking about the thing.
We're talking about him. He was talking about spicing up the shows with nude women. Mm-hmm. Got very little reaction from the patrons. Talked about socialism and communism, and people near hogtied me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was palpable. The room got tense.
Yeah, I think there was a case of angina as a result.
But yeah, so people are still kind of scared of the term. But how does this change things? How does this change, the approach?
I think that electoral politics, obviously, especially only 1 or 2 people are getting elected, is not very effective. But it does give the person who's elected a voice. They're able to give speeches and have more attention. The news media will be there in Seattle simply because she's a councilwoman now.
Yeah.
They'll go, she's speaking, let's listen to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but we need to start figuring out a strategy.
I was asking
AdamandSheridanShow at gmail.com, or leave a comment in the space below. All right, now I wanted to mention a few. We're going to do a year in review on our radio show, which by this point it's already aired, I guess. But.
Yeah, it's already aired. So listen to that on SoundCloud. But the year in review in this show, we started out strong. We had a bunch of likes, and now we're down to nothing, not even a dozen, barely a dozen likes.
Views, right?
Views, that's right. Yeah. No one likes. But
it's really bizarre, isn't it? Because we started off, I think our first show had like 73 likes.
Or 73 views.
Yeah,
you did it too.
I did it too, because of you.
I'm excited.
This is why no one watches, because we can't get our words straight.
We can't get our words straight.
So for the 9 people that watch, what do you want to see us do? What do you want to see us cover?
What would get
More
you
local things? Perhaps?
What would get you less embarrassed to share us?
Yes.
What would, just let us know. We're looking to change up the show. And one thing that we did to change up the show was invite people to like our Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And the 100th person to like our Facebook page was going to be able to be on the show. And that happened. We're at 118 likes?
We are, yes.
118 likes.
Thank you.
And the person going to be on our show is...
Brian Selipek from Warren, Pennsylvania.
Congratulations, Brian.
We actually don't know him, so this is very exciting. We're meeting someone we don't know. We're reaching out to the community, and we're going to have him on, and we're going to show you, viewers, how to speak your mind. Because, this is an anecdote, because I think people are afraid.
It's like, Brian, we're going to school you.
No, he's going to school them. I was at a party a week ago, and I had someone come up to me, and she said, love your show, but I would never respond to anything you post on Facebook on the show page, because I would have to do a ton of research, and I'm so scared that I'm not going to know what I'm talking about. And I'm saying, do you think we don't do research? We do a ton of research too. We don't just know these things off the top of our head. We want you to respond.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily know everything. We might be wrong about it. There's been times we've corrected ourselves, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but we want you to, if you engage us in conversation, we're not going to talk down to you. We'll get fervent against capitalism, but we're not going to just basically insult you. And the more you have these conversations, the more you'll be able to suss out exactly what you believe, or what the arguments are for or against, where you stand, and through this you'll actually learn. Just ask, have conversations, challenge us on things, because that helps us understand where we are.
I think that might be part of the problem is a lot of people think that it's necessarily a debate show.
Yeah.
If you say something to us, we're going to hammer back at you with, a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just say, well, have you ever considered this? Or that's an interesting idea. Let's sort of piggyback off that.
Yeah.
So please don't be intimidated or afraid to speak your mind. I've had lots of people do that.
Yeah. Also, with the minute we have left.
Yeah, we have a couple minutes left. I wanted to mention a couple things that have happened so far this year, 2014.
Yep.
Now, this is very, very important. We have a new mayor in New York City.
We do. People are so excited.
I know
so
what you're
excited.
thinking. Why would Jamestown residents give a damn about what's going on in New York City? Well, this is a good case study here, because this is a kind of like an Obama clone.
Yeah.
His name is Bill de Blasio. He was inaugurated on January 1st. He, and I quote, says that he's going to be narrowing in on income inequality specifically. So
right after Obama's terrible speech on
right.
it.
So here we have an opportunity to actually watch from the beginning someone's administration who explicitly ran on and promised to pass legislation that includes raising taxes on the wealthy and raising entitlement spending and so forth. And we want to basically just see if he follows through. And if he doesn't, as the Democrat that he is, can we maybe learn something from that from the very beginning? Let's look at it dispassionately, objectively. Bill de Blasio in 2014, it was his first year. So put him in your Google ID things where you put the thing in and you get an email every day. Do that. All right. So
news alert.
News
alert.
What you meant? The Google ID things.
Oh my goodness.
So
we have become old.
Also,
we have become old.
Coincidentally, marijuana is now legal in the state of Colorado.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's not. I'm not under the influence or anything.
I'm not under the influence. I think it stinks. I've never actually smoked it, but all I smelled when I was in San Francisco was urine and pot, and I'm not sure which was worse. So be considerate of those who have sensitive noses.
In Colorado, it is violates the voter-approved law.
Yeah,
it is illegal to smoke in a public place. It's just like alcohol.
At a public place.
Yes.
All right.
You can't smoke at a public pace.
This has been the Adam and Sheridan Show. Catch us, of course, AdamandSheridanShow@gmail.com. Like our Facebook page if you haven't already. Share the video. For the love of Pete, share the video.
And let us know what you think. You can tweet us.
At Adam and Sheridan. Check us out, WRFA, Fridays at 6, Sundays at 11 a.m., WRFALP.com.
He's talking about our hour-long radio show. My name is Adam Courtwright.
My name is Sheridan. Stay active. because this year was the year. This year was the year, seriously, of the blossoming of more mainstream socialism. Seriously was. We now have the first elected socialist in decades.
Well, we're looking
Except for what's his nuts, who's not a socialist.
Bernie Sanders.